Imagine a crisp spring morning. The kind where the air carries a hint of damp earth and the promise of something new. It's March 23rd, 2025, and in the sleepy town of Pickleton, the sun is just peeking over the rooftops, casting golden streaks across weathered porches and rusty mailboxes. This isn't a place known for grand adventures. Most folks here measure excitement by the size of the prize pumpkin at the county fair. But today, something's stirring. A quiet rebellion is brewing among a band of unlikely heroes. Middle-aged dreamers and silver-haired survivors who've had enough of creaky joints, foggy minds, and the slow creep of time stealing their vitality. They're not caped crusaders or muscle-bound warriors. They're regular folks like you and me, armed with nothing but a grocery list and a hunger for something better. This is the story of their quest, a wild, winding journey to uncover the 7 healthiest foods on the planet. 7 edible treasures that could turn back the clock, shore up their defenses, and maybe even make them feel like they've got a few extra summers left to chase. But like any good tale, there's a twist lurking in the shadows. A food so powerful it might just steal your soul if you're not ready for it. This isn't about fad diets or kale smoothies that taste like regret. It's about real food, the kind that fuels your body without setting off alarm bells in your bloodstream. Foods that keep insulin, the sneaky saboteur of energy and waistlines, locked in its cage. Foods so packed with nutrients they're practically bursting at the seams, ready to rebuild you from the inside out. What makes a food healthy, you ask? It's not the glossy labels or the buzzwords slapped on a box. A truly healthy food doesn't send your blood sugar soaring like a rocket, only to crash you into a nap you didn't sign up for. It doesn't rob your body of the good stuff, vitamins, minerals, the building blocks that keep you humming. Instead, it's a low-carb lifeline, rich in fiber and fat, the unsung heroes that sidestep insulin's wrath. Protein's part of the mix, sure, but here's the kicker. The leaner it is, the more it pokes that insulin bare. Think of it like picking a lane on the highway. Fatty cuts cruise smoothly, while lean ones swerve into traffic. The goal? A nutrient-dense arsenal, vitamins, minerals, trace elements, omega-3s, and those mysterious phytonutrients that sound like they belong in a lab but actually belong in your belly. These are the foods that don't just sustain you, they transform you. So, let's step into Pickleton and follow this ragtag crew as they chase their first prize. First, the sauerkraut siege. The Pickleton Community Center sits squat and unassuming. Its peeling paint a testament to decades of bingo nights and potlucks. Inside, the air smells faintly of liniment and desperation as the group gathers, their sneakers squeaking against the linoleum. They're not here for another round of half-hearted chair squats. They're here to rewrite their fates, one bite at a time. Their leader, a woman named Barb, stands at the front, her perm a fortress of curls that defies gravity and good sense. She's got a notebook in hand, pages dog-eared and scribbled with secrets she's gleaned from late-night YouTube marathons. Her mission is clear: guide her crew to the first of the 7 foods. A humble jar of sauerkraut. Now, sauerkraut might not sound like the stuff of legend. It's more likely to conjure images of a soggy hot dog than a health revolution. But as Barb lays out the case, you can almost hear the trumpets sounding. 1 cup of this fermented wonder clocks in at 6 grams of carbs. But 4.1 of those are fiber, leaving a net carb count of under 2 grams. That's a whisper in the low-carb world. A featherweight contender that won't ruffle insulin's feathers. But the real magic? It's a vitamin C volcano, erupting with 700 milligrams, 10 times the daily dose you need to keep scurvy at bay. Imagine sailors of old, their teeth falling out like autumn leaves. Then picture sauerkraut swooping in to glue them back together. It's not just about avoiding pirate vibes, though. Vitamin C is the architect of collagen, the glue that holds your skin, bones, and heart together. It's an antioxidant warrior, mopping up free radicals that age you faster than a decade of sunburns and bad decisions. The crew listens, rapt, as Barb paints the picture. Sauerkraut's more than a side dish, it's a gut-healing titan. Fermented from cabbage, a cruciferous vegetable with phytonutrients so potent they'd make broccoli blush. It's a prebiotic and probiotic powerhouse. Picture your gut as a bustling city, full of microscopic citizens. Most probiotics, like the ones in yogurt, get shredded by stomach acid before they can clock in. But sauerkraut's bacteria? They're the elite squad, marching through the acid gauntlet to set up shop in your large intestine, feeding the good guys and kicking the pathogens to the curb with lactic acid. It's easy on the stomach. 2. No broccoli-style gas explosions here. Just a gentle nudge to your digestion, thanks to a spike in acetylcholine that keeps things moving and your brain sharp. Barb's not done. She flips a page, revealing sauerkraut's hidden gems. Vitamin K2. Crafted by those friendly bacteria, shunting calcium into your bones instead of clogging your arteries like some rogue plumber. And then there's vitamin U. Yes, U. A real thing. Not a typo. It's a gut-soothing marvel. Healing ulcers, taming inflammation, and turning your insides into a spa retreat. The crew's skeptical. Frank, a burly mechanic with a gut built on burgers, wonders if it's worth trading his spam loaf for something that sounds like a science experiment. But Barb's got a plan. They'll storm the Piggly Wiggly and snag every jar they can carry. The truck ride is a symphony of creaks and grumbles. Frank's rusty pickup rattling like a tin can on wheels. They spill into the store, a motley parade of determination, only to find the sauerkraut shelf stripped bare. A pimply clerk shrugs. Some lady with a perm cleaned them out yesterday, muttering about a health revolution. Barb's eyes narrow. Mrs. Henderson, the town's pie queen, has beaten them to the punch. She's not just a master of rhubarb, she's a sauerkraut bandit, hoarding jars in her doomsday stash. Undeterred, Barb hatches a new scheme, a midnight raid on Henderson's pantry. But first, they pivot to the next treasure on the list. Second, the arugula ambush. The produce aisle glows under fluorescent lights, a jungle of greens where arugula waits like a quiet hero. It's not the limp iceberg lettuce of your childhood salads. This is a cruciferous cousin to sauerkraut's cabbage, with a peppery bite that dances on your tongue like a sweet, spicy secret. Barb scoops up a bag, holding it aloft like a trophy. This leafy dynamo is low in oxalates, no kidney stone roulette like spinach plays, and brimming with phytonutrients that scrub your liver clean. Like a detox crew after a wild party. It's anti-inflammatory, a balm for joints that groan louder than a rusty gate. And it's packing nitric oxide, a little miracle molecule that keeps blood flowing, arteries happy, and, let's just say, certain sparks flying in the bedroom. Picture this. You're tossing arugula with a drizzle of olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. No heavy dressing needed. It's a flavor bomb, peppery, sweet, a hint of heat, and it's loaded with calcium, potassium, folate, magnesium, vitamins C and K1. Anti-cancer vibes hum beneath the surface. Those phytonutrients standing guard against rogue cells. For the Pickleton crew, it's a revelation. Linda, the ex-librarian with a book for every ache, imagines it as the base for a daily salad, a ritual to keep her sharp as she hunts down obscure health tomes. Frank, still blushing from the nitric oxide mention, sees it as a sidekick to his grilled goodies. But as they shuffle to the checkout, a shadow falls. The cashier, a gangly kid named Kyle, smirks as he scans their arugula at a glacial pace. He's Mrs. Henderson's nephew, and he's been tipped off about their sauerkraut scheme. The shelves might be bare, but Henderson's grip on this town's health secrets is tightening. Barb doesn't flinch, she leans in, promising a reckoning, then herds her crew back to the truck. Arugula's in the bag, but the war's just heating up. You can't ignore the third one. The salmon steaks. The docks of Pickleton smell like salt and secrets. The air thick with the cries of gulls and the slap of waves against weathered wood. Here, amidst the fishmonger's calls, the crew hunts their next prize, salmon. Wild caught and glistening, its fatty flesh a treasure trove of omega-3s. 3 ounces pack over 2.000 milligrams of these fatty acids. Compare that to cod's measly 171. And it's no contest. Omega-3s are the oil in your engine, soothing inflammation, greasing joints that creak like old floorboards, and shielding your brain from the fog that sneaks in with age. They're anti-cancer sentinels, too, standing watch over a body that's seen too many fast food detours. Most folks, like Frank, with his burger legacy, are drowning in omega-6s from soy oil. Corn oil, the greasy underbelly of modern eating. Salmon's the antidote. a reset button that balances the scales. Selenium's along for the ride, neutralizing any mercury whispers, while potassium, zinc, and calcium bolster the package. The fat-to-protein ratio isn't perfect, 1 to 2, but the benefits outweigh the math. Frank imagines it sizzling on his grill, butter melting into the skin, a meal that's as practical as it is powerful. They score a slab from Gus, a burly fishmonger with a beard like seaweed. But as they turn to leave, he drops a bomb. Mrs. Henderson's been here, trading her sauerkraut stash for cod liver downtown. She's not just ahead, she's poaching their list. One food at a time. The crew's jaws drop, the salmon suddenly a stepping stone to a bigger battle. Barb's mind races, cod liver's next. And Henderson's playing chess while they're still fumbling with checkers. Moving to the fourth, the cod liver conspiracy. Downtown Pickleton is a maze of narrow streets and flickering lights. The kind of place where secrets thrive in the shadows. The crew weaves through the alleys, guided by Gus's tip, until they spot her, Mrs. Henderson, her apron dusted with pie flour, bartering sauerkraut jars for cans of Icelandic cod liver. The air hums with tension as Barb steps forward, the scent of fish and fermentation mingling like a strange perfume. Henderson doesn't blink, she pops a can open, revealing a creamy, pudding-like treasure that defies its humble origins. Cod liver's no ordinary catch. It's an organ meat, the kind most folks wrinkle their noses at. But this wild-caught wonder is different. 5 times more fat than protein. It barely nudges insulin, making it a ketosis kingpin that keeps your body burning fat like a well-stoked fire. Omega-3s swim alongside vitamins A and D, retinol for your eyes and immune system, D for blood pressure and that winter blues slump. Vitamin K2, brewed by bacteria, keeps calcium in line, while iodine and B vitamins round out the roster. It's a nutrient bomb, delicious if you eat it fresh, leave it too long, and the fishy whispers creep in. Barb grabs a can, weighing it in her hand. Henderson smug, offering an alliance, join her. Rule Pickleton's health scene together. After a heartbeat of hesitation, Barb agrees. The loot split between them. Sauerkraut and cod liver become their shared spoils. A truce forged in the name of vitality. But as they divvy it up, a flyer catches the wind. A hamburger cook-off. Grass-fed only. Set for tonight. The next chapter's calling. 5th. The hamburger hustle. The cook-off unfolds under a canopy of stars. The sizzle of patties filling the air with a primal allure. Grass-fed hamburgers the star, 2 to 1 fat to protein. A practical powerhouse for a crew aging out of lean meat days. It's rich in amino acids, bioavailable iron that beats spinach's feeble offering, and B12 to keep energy humming. Selenium, carnosine, and creatine join the party, carnosine fighting the glycation that glues sugar to your insides. Creatine boosting muscle for those who refuse to slow down, as stomachs thin on acid with age. Betaine hydrochloride becomes the key, unlocking digestion and mineral absorption. Frank takes the grill, flipping burgers with the finesse of a man who's spent decades under hoods and over flames. They're in the running for the prize, a stack of patties to fuel their quest, but fate deals a blow. The judge, Linda's ex, Carl, sneers from behind his vegan clipboard, tanking their score with a vendetta older than their marriage. Red meat's poison, he claims, but the science says otherwise. Grass-fed's a clean slate. No cancer curse here. They lose. But Ernie, wiry and wild, swipes a tray in the chaos. Their bounty secured through sheer audacity. 6th. The pecan pursuit. The farmer's market buzzes the next morning. A patchwork of stalls under a sky streaked with clouds. Pecans gleam like polished gems. The lowest net carb nut at 4 grams per cup. Their 7 to 1 fat to protein ratio a low insulin dream. Zinc and copper dance in balance. B1 soothes stress, and antioxidants fend off diabetes and heart disease. Big wins for a crowd staring down chronic shadows. Low oxalates mean no kidney stone scares, and their buttery ease makes them a keto dessert darling. Barb reaches for a bag, but chaos erupts. Squirrels, a chittering army, swarm the stall, scattering pecans like confetti. Ernie dives in, wrestling the furry bandits with the gusto of a man who's tangled with raccoons and lived to tell the tale. He emerges triumphant, a bag clutched tight, his legend growing as the crew cheers. Pecans are theirs, a sweet victory in a bitter fight. Next, the olive oil odyssey. The final frontier is Mrs. Henderson's lair, a clapboard house guarding the last treasure, extra virgin olive oil. It's a fat with zero insulin impact, brimming with vitamins E and A, magnesium, and potassium. Phytonutrients stretch your telomeres, DNA's age clocks, while repairing mitochondria. Cancer's weak spot. It's an anti-inflammatory rival to ibuprofen, clearing brain plaque and protecting retinas from sugar's wrath. Real stuff bites back, peppery and grassy, a flavor that demands you drench everything in sight. They sneak in, expecting a stash, but find fakes, cheap blends masquerading as the real deal. Frank's wrench and Linda's lockpicking, a library-learned skill, crack Henderson's safe, revealing the true prize. Barb takes a swig, the bite hitting like a thunderclap. She flops dramatically, gasping, has it stolen her soul? The crew freezes, then roars as she pops up, laughing. It's intense, but it's theirs. And finally, the Platinum Dawn. Back at the community center, the feast unfolds. Sauerkraut's tang, arugula's bite, salmon's richness, cod liver's cream, burgers sizzle, pecans crunch, all drenched in olive oil's gold. They've outsmarted Henderson, bonded over battles, and feel the spark of youth flickering back. 7 foods, 7 triumphs, a blueprint to rewrite their years. The villains, sugar, junk, inertia, wait for another day. But for now, Pickleton's rebels savor the taste of victory, ready to share their tale with anyone bold enough to listen.